You are now tuned in to the News You Can Use podcast. I am the host with the most, Big Surf God. And yes, this is Game for Sale, episode 5. Later on in the episode, we will have my boy D-Class joining us. We might get Macaroni in here. And yeah, we on some fly shit. You already know what time it is, but let's get into it, man. Let me give y'all a little game for sale. Let me turn this fan off before I do, because I want y'all to hear me clearly. It's a lot of miserable people out there, y'all. Don't let them throw your energy off. I'm going to repeat that. It's a lot of miserable people out there. Don't let them throw your energy off. It's a lot of different kind of miserable people. It's a lot of different type of snakes. It's a lot of different type of everything out there that you need to watch out for. They'll reveal yourself, but the naive you who just see the good in them and just want to be around somebody, or the desperate you will keep them people around. That gotta stop, because we have to separate ourselves. So the people who are really legit and really can move a certain way will move a certain way. Know yourself before you indulge into anything, into relationships, friendships, anything. Because if you don't know yourself, then you won't know how to handle yourself. If you know yourself, you'll be smart enough to know how to handle yourself accordingly. A lot of times, people who don't know themselves blame other people for their problems. I'm going to repeat that. A lot of times, people who don't know themselves will blame other people for their problems, because they never conquered their issues or the things that's wrong with them, and they don't know how to control it. Now, some people are good at poking at others. That's why comments on the internet are how they are. These are the same kind of people who poke at family members, who poke at friends, who just not good people. See, you have to know good energy versus bad energy. If you know the difference between somebody who's positive and happy all the time versus someone who's not, and then you definitely can identify exactly who's who. Usually the jolly people end up with the people that's not always jolly. And it's only because it's not a lot of us. It's not a lot of people who's always just in a good mood. You know, I don't think anyone who wakes up with murder on their mind is in a good mood. They've been through tremendous trauma. They have all kind of different issues, probably mental issues. And yeah, nowadays I've noticed the person with the most ADHD is the most popular. Like whoever's really like need real good therapy and need to change how they think is the leaders of music, entertainment, and everything. They the coolest person in the hood. The dumbest crash out is the smartest. And they end up, I'm like, well, yeah, I don't get it. I'm not even gonna go that deep into that. But y'all should get what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is the people who sometimes start off bad end up good people, which is facts. But some of these people in their ways, and the reason why they're in the position that they're in was because the kind of people that they identify with, if that makes sense. In certain record labels and companies and brands, and we want to be attached to this negative energy, which later on the person realizes that they're putting out negative energy because the whole world is being impacted by their negative energy. The murder rate is going up. and now they feel guilty. A lot of artists, the ones that don't feel guilty about the impact what their music did and how it made people react when they heard it, the ones that's influential, whose followers, um, they're the ones that were affected by your music. Now, a lot of people who put out that negative type music, you know, you never know. But yeah, that's how it goes. Your music can put out a negative energy that can affect a person who's not them, who don't know themselves yet, like a teenager or a younger person, or some older people who don't know themselves can be affected by it, and that can train their training into way of thinking in what they watch, what they grew up around. So if they go outside, they see the killing, they see the rags, they see whatever, and then they hear the music, it just coincides with everything. There's no positive there. So a lot of people need to learn to put out positive messages. It's easier to be positive than to be negative. Negative is a defense mechanism for people who don't know how to control their emotions. If you learn to control your emotions, you will rule the world. Because at that point, only what bothers you. But you don't have to react to any situation that bothers you when you're able to control your emotion. A lot of people are more emotional than they think, because if somebody step on your shoe and you want to fight over that, then you're kind of emotional either over the money and the time you spent to get it, or you just one of those people who's looking for a bad day. See, a lot of people are glorifying negative people and unhappy people. Um, we rarely glorify the people who's always happy, who's always doing, I'm happy, for real, has always put out a positive energy into the world. I don't remember too many songs, I mean too many things that he's attached to that's super negative, other than the clips and what they were making and other people he created with. But when it came to his personal music, it was because I'm happy. So, and I didn't look at it like he was gay because he put that out. I just looked at it like, nah, dude, really happy. Like he's really enjoying life while a lot of people are miserable and they putting out negative energy. So for them to even graft that, because for me to sit here and talk about something negative all day in my music is gotta come from a negative space. So I would have to go into my past because my future isn't negative. And a lot of people don't know that when they put out that energy of negativity, you bring it into your future. So if you talk greatness into yourself, greatness happens. So you have to look at yourself and say, I'm great. I'm an amazing person. Everybody I come across is going to love me, whether they do or not, or whether you do or not. The more you tell yourself and believe it, the more it comes true. This is how you change your reality. This is what they talk about when they talk about manifestation. Manifestation is more of you believing in whatever you want to believe in versus you not having faith. And that's where religion comes in. And that's why that's important. But a lot of it has to do with yourself. It's not the world around you, it's you. And then it's the choices. You got to think of your life as a remote control, and you're controlling it. You can choose to go up, down, side, left, press B, press L, press X, exit, start, restart, all that. So you got to be quick with your hands like you do with these video games. And if you play your life that way, then you'll end up in a winning situation every time because you already know, okay, this isn't good for me. Let me restart. You'll know. But even me, myself, I felt victim to situations I knew was no good for me. And then just spent eternity trying to disconnect from it in some type of way internally, not knowing I'm trying to disconnect because your real self is like, this isn't right. And when something isn't right, your intuition will always tell you that this isn't right. And you'll always talk to yourself on the low like, this ain't right. And when you feel like it ain't right, then it just ain't right. Your conscience should tell you that it's not right if you have a conscience. See, I don't believe that everyone has a conscience. And that's the difference between everybody else. Like, if you have a conscience, you're a lot different from a lot of people because if you have a strong conscience, no one can buy you. Nobody can persuade you. You're not influenced by anything, and you're your own person. No matter if you're whatever kind of person, you would be the weirdest person in the world, but you do what you do, and it's a lot of those people out there. We just overlook them and call them weird. Oh, they're weird. You know why you call them weird? Because they don't do the shit you do. You're a follower, so when you're a follower, you do whatever the trend is. When you're when you create your own wave, you do what you do. So, it's always good to be yourself 100% of the time. The best, the highest regard to God can be authenticity. How authentic you are. How are you authentic? Are you really just being yourself? Or are you trying to be somebody else? Because when you just if you're authentically being yourself, then you should have no remorse for any of your actions. If you're authentically being yourself, there's no reason to feel sorry. There's no reason to apologize. There's no reason to say you made a mistake. No, you did exactly what you wanted to do, and you either succeed or you don't. And when you do exactly what you want to do, most times you're going to succeed or you're going to leave a situation that you shouldn't even be a part of. And a lot of people don't know when to hold them or fold them. You got to know when something isn't for you. I'm going to repeat that. You got to know when something isn't for you. If you fail at it multiple times and you've been doing it for years, then it's probably another calling for you. And your calling is right in front of your face, but you don't even pay that any attention. So it's better to pay attention to what your calling is, and it's better to love yourself. To love someone else, you have to love yourself. To know someone else, you need to know yourself. Because how could you tell them about you if you don't know yourself? Then now you end up telling them a lot of lies, and you end up being a disguise, and you end up being fake. And it's a lot of fake people. We don't need any more fake people. It's enough of those. The Regiment. I'm going to be putting out an album talking about all this, and it's going to be called Game for Sale, Volume 1, The Regiment. And the first song is going to be Game for Sale. The second one will be The Regiment. And if you want to hear the other three, you're going to have to buy the EP. You know what I'm talking about? And it will be on evenbiz.com. Shout out evenbiz.com. Shout out LaRussell, because that's where I found it. I'm not one of those people to be like, oh, I found out about this on my own. And no. I seen it on LaRussell's page and how he was moving. And it's a offer base. So it's really dope. And y'all definitely should check it out. And Season 2 of Game for Sale of News You Can Use podcast will be active every day. I will go live every day. I will start back dropping 10 edits every day, shorts and all that. And we're going to put out a lot of the old podcasts and we're going to run into the new. I will be doing interviews again with artists and all that. But at this time, I just want to get back used to going live, doing it, enjoying it, and having a great time. So the Game for Sale segment is going to be done every day. We're going to start back doing a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday show. We're going to start back doing sports. We're going to do everything, health, everything. We coming with clothing lines. And I'm going to push this real hard. I will be dropping a lot of new music. So if you want to hear music from me, you definitely need to tap in because I'm going to be dropping music. I just dropped my first single on Even Biz. You can offer me what you want to pay for it. And look, if you want to invest into my career and own some rights to some of my catalog, you have the option to do that too. You can buy a percentage of every song I have because I'm going to make sure you can. So it's going to be like either do you want to buy the song and support me, or do you want to be a part of my team and buy 10% of the song? You know, a song has 100%. You can buy 10% interest into the song and be getting paid royalties when that song hit. So tap in with your boy, hit my Even Biz account. Everything is under Big Surf Guy. And this is Game for Sale, episode 5. I'll be tapping in all day. I'm finna tap in with my boy D Class and we'll do the other show I got in mind because I ain't told him about it yet. And we will be doing Las Vegas Alleys. So shout out to my boy Macaroni. Shout out to Uncle Bobby. Happy birthday, Uncle Bobby. You know what I'm saying? He just had a birthday. And my birthday is coming up September 24th. I will be dropping my movie Where the Weed At on Trapflix. It will be for sale. Um, Definitely excited about that. So y'all need to tap in with me about that. And you know, the news you can use podcast is back active. We will be dropping edits. We will be doing everything that we're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? The boss is back in the building. You already know what time it is. I'm just gonna give you game on Game for Sale. You know, knowledge, just the things that I've learned. You know, loyalty is something that you can't buy, and you gotta notice when a person isn't loyal. You know what I'm saying? You gotta check that shit at the motherfucking door immediately. So when you see a person move in a certain kind of way, you can tell that they're not, you know, being authentic. They're not being themselves. And you might meet people on the road to success. You know, life might be giving them a lot of bullshit. They might have been through a lot of things. So it's hard for them to be themselves because they're not even happy with their situation. So make sure you mess with people or deal with people that's in a great state of mind. Check their mind, you know, check their regimen. Make sure that they on point. Because other than that, you're gonna deal with a lot of headaches. So you gotta make sure that a person is in a right mind state and feeling good and you know everything is going great for them. Otherwise at that point they're opportunists. They're looking for any opportunity and a way out. You know, that leads to a lot of chaos, that leads to a lot of heartbreak, that leads to a lot of bad situations because you're dealing with a person who's for self. And when a person is for self, you don't know what they'll do to you. So you can't be too close to people who's going through situations where they have to throw you under the bus, you know. And some people are strong enough to deal with their problems and their situations and blow it off like it's nothing going on and just push forward and make things happen. But they're a rarity. But you'll be able to tell because they'll stay loyal the whole time. They won't swindle, they won't shake off, and they'll stick to the regimen. But you got a lot of people out there that is very untrustworthy and you got to watch out for that. You know, I've been through a lot of different situations where I had to be like them. See, I was like, instead of just calling them out on that shit and just like making them feel bad, I just want to show them how it feels to be them. So let me follow your rules. Okay, you do this, you do that, you do this. Okay, that. Let me try because I want to make sure I'm not crazy. You know, let me do what you do and then see if you like it. Now, and if you do what they do and they don't say anything, then it's just, you know, it's not being intentional. But if you do exactly what they do and they hate you for it, then it was intentional and they know what they was doing and they're wrong for it. A lot of accountability is everything. Being accountable for your actions is everything. Nobody else can be accountable for your actions, not even God. You know what I'm saying? You have a choice. Everyone has a choice to be happy, positive, negative, a bad person, a good person. So you have to make that decision yourself. Nobody can make that decision for you. And that's some game for sale right there. And I'm out.